Hey everyone. I know this is old news by now, but basically a week or two ago now, we all found out that everyone's favorite, text editor, Notepad++, unfortunately was sort of, I guess, hacked slash, breached in a little kind of, cyber attack, right? Long story short, as we all know, basically what happened was someone took control of their Notepad++'s, like, I think, either development, either web server slash development server, right? And essentially what they did is they kind of exploited a weakness in the WinGup update tool for Notepad++, basically being, when Notepad++ need updates, it uses that tool slash like script, I guess, to reach out to their, either GitHub or whatever domain, they have their updates hosted on, right? So basically, long story short, this was pretty bad. It was, kind of around for a while. And not a lot of people knew about it, right? Basically, I think it came to fruition mainly. It was basically, the attack occurred in June 2025, and no one noticed for a long time. And it was on the hosting provider that was mainly compromised. So it wasn't like the app was directly compromised, right? But one of the biggest things here, right? This is used by a lot of people. I admit at my job I use this tool, so I was affected too. And I try to be as security smart as possible, right? Always do trying practicing the best techniques, suggested methods. But basically, one of the things that kind of stood out to me is, near the end, once they released the final patch, they said they believe the situation has been fully resolved. Fingers crossed. I don't really think that's a good thing to say. You should either know if it has or hasn't. I get that sometimes there is some unknowns, but still, I think we should, you should try to just have a more distinctive answer. But basically, what I wanted to talk about more in this video, I know this is old news by now, but, for those of you out there who use this tool and aren't very, I guess, trend savvy or tech savvy, I should say, if you want to know what to do in these types of situations, it's honestly, pretty simple, right? Nothing too overly complicated. Now, a lot of people get nervous, like, what do I do? Like, do I uninstall it? Do I do this, do that? Well, basically, I'll make it, pretty simple for you. I know Notepad++, it's mainly on Windows. I'm sure you can emulate it or virtualize it, whatever, through Wine if you use it on Linux. Honestly, on Linux, I use either Notepad QQ or Genie. That's my kind of alternative, you can say whatever you want about that, but basically, what you do in these situations, right? Well, the first thing I did was I went and checked what version I had. So basically, the version I had, I think, was something very old, like 8 point. I know we got to really scroll down. I think I had like 8.3. It was a very old version of my work laptop. I'm not sure why they haven't been updating. It could have been just the way I installed it, or if my device wasn't managed properly. I don't do asset management for a job and all that kind of stuff, so not my problem. Right, so the first thing I did is I went and checked, and I saw I was on version 8.3.3, and I was like, all right, cool. Well, not cool, actually. So what I did then is, I went to this website right here, which was, I think, linked in this Bleeping Computer article on here as well. Yeah, their announcements and stuff. And I kind of poked around and found, the patches, right? So then I went and basically found, I read between these two, like, which one to do, and I installed a 8.9.1. Now, people are going to ask, like, did you have to uninstall the old one first? What did you do? Well, basically, from my perspective, and this could be different, what I did was I just installed this new one, and then it seems like, there's something in there within the Windows install utility that caught and, deleted the old one or basically upgraded this one, right? Because I went and double checked after, and there's only one version of Notepad++ on my PC that I have for my job, right? So basically, that's what I did then afterwards. I went and double checked the version, blah, blah, blah. So I was on 8.9.1. I was like, all right, cool, I'm good. And that's basically what I did, right? And that's kind of what most of, like, it's kind of essentially just patching when it comes down to it. You just want to make sure that you get up to a more upgraded version, make sure that upgraded version does not have any more intricacies as well. I know there was something recently with Fortinet, in particular FortiGate firewalls that had some SSO vulnerability, and one of the patches they released actually did, it basically, I think it didn't really patch it fully, or it allowed it to allowed you to be able to exploit something else. So that's something you always want to watch for as well. But in this situation, it was very simple. I just checked the version I was on, I went ahead and upgraded it, and then just went back and double checked and made sure I wasn't, didn't have anything else installed from that, or it was fully upgraded, or there's no duplicate, project file folders, anything like that. The one thing, though, is to be leery is sometimes, like, your themes, if you have a bunch of customizations, when you do something like that, basically, some of those can get wiped. I really just didn't do an upgrade either. I just kind of decided to do a reinstall because that's kind of just the person I am. If you want to do a smooth upgrade, you could, but that's up to you. But essentially, that's what I wanted to share today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something from this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.